All right. So, hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. I'm actually just off the plane from Germany because nothing was going to stop me from being in this room tonight. There are a lot of smart people here tonight. And it is absolutely my privilege and very excited to welcome you here to Deutsche Bank Center to go through the MIT Females Founder event this evening on this very fantastic Pi Day. My name is Sandra Friends, and I run transformation here at Deutsche Bank in the US. I'm also a proud MIT Course 6 alum. So for those of you who need a translation, that means I graduated with a degree in electrical engineering and computer science. So when I think about the pitches here today that I am super excited to hear, for me, transformation requires great ideas, decision rights, and then access to equity. So we know, because we all love data, that while 63% of females startup companies outperform similar companies founded by men, that they only get less than 3% of all that venture capital investment that we have out in the ecosystem. And gender discrepancies in entrepreneurial ecosystem remain a challenge for the smart, innovative women, both in the audience and then broader. So I would like to give a special thanks to everyone who brought us together today. So first, Women on Wall Street, our DB WOW's co-chairs, Katie Flood and Alex Chung, our DB Pride Chair, John Tilli, and then also from MIT Sloan School, Anoosheh Kalantari, Karen Tilli, and Peter Dolch. This MIT Sloan flagship event and initiatives like it are critically important for leveling the playing field for women entrepreneurs and for helping women-led businesses have access to capital. So I personally am extremely proud that Deutsche Bank makes this commitment to DEI, and also I look forward to you in making this event a success. So with that, I actually want to welcome to the stage quite a few folks that we have tonight from our founding sponsor, the law firm of Fox Rothschild. Special thanks to Brad Gould, managing partner here in the New York offices. Brad is also an MIT alum. He's a course too. I'll let him tell you all about that. But we've had their support from the start in getting this event going. So if I can just welcome the Fox Rothschild team to the stage.
So thank you, Sandra. I'm Brad Gould. I'm the managing partner of the New York office of Fox Rothschild. And I want to take a minute to introduce our contingent here. We have three of us are from MIT. I'm course 2. Diana L. Hume was course 5. And Alice over there was course 7. Among our team tonight, we have our corporate partner, Tamar Gubbins, who has agreed to judge the event. And Tamar is a member of our emerging companies and venture capital group. And we are very fortunate to have her guidance here tonight. In addition to, let's see, so I introduced myself. Diana and Alice are also in the IP group, as am I. Diana is a former chair of the IP department and our current growth strategist. And Alice Paquette is a patent agent in our group. Also here we have Chris Glynn and Mike Glynn, also partners in our patent group, both with PhDs from Fordham. And our corporate partner, Sarah Hewitt, and I'm not sure if we have Naya here, but our corporate partner, Sarah Hewitt, who part of her practice involves art law as a part of her international transactional practice. We're especially proud to be part of this event again, and to be a founding sponsor. In 2022, it was a really exciting event, and I'm sure that it will be once again. For anybody not familiar with Fox Rothschild and as a firm, We are a national firm. We have 1,000 lawyers, 30 offices, and you may come to us for anything from IP and corporate, employment law, litigation, you name it. We can serve most needs. And we serve businesses of all sizes with a strong focus on startups and emerging companies. Some of our emerging companies and venture capital partners are also angel investors themselves. And I'd like to introduce now Peter Dolch, one of the co-founders of tonight's event. He's the chairman of the MIT Sloan Club of New York. After graduating from MIT, he started a technology consulting company, which he grew to 120 employees. They solve technology problems for Fortune-level companies, helping over 40 founders launch their startups, including one that went to a successful exit, and helping another one that went from an idea on the back of a napkin to an IPO. After exiting the consulting company, he moved more deeply into the entrepreneurship ecosystem and managing an angel venture fund and co-founding several startups. He's a startup advisor and a mentor, helping teams with fundraising and product strategy. And his newest startup is about to launch a product this month. So, Peter, thank you.
I first met Brad, just for full disclosure, when his daughter and my son became best friends in first grade. We're at a parent mixer, and it turns out this guy went to MIT. It also turns out he was in my fraternity. So it's a small MIT world. Hi, everyone. I'm Peter Dolch, chairman of the MIT Sloan Club of New York. We're going to get to the main event, but there are some people we have to thank first. I'm one of the original founders of this event, which is now in its second year. And I'd like to welcome everyone here tonight and everyone watching on Zoom. I'm not sure which camera that is, but I'm waving to the Zoom people. Before we get to the main event, I'm going to let you know a little bit more about the club and acknowledge the many, many people who helped make tonight possible. The MIT Sloan Club of New York's mission is to support Sloan alumni and students who live and work in the greater New York area. We accomplish this with numerous events throughout the year, from networking events to social gatherings to educational seminars and workshops. Our club is run by a committed board of directors who create and run all the events that we host. Many of them are here tonight, and several volunteer to help. I'd especially like to thank Jackie Selby, who's on Zoom tonight, our club's marketing chair, for all her hard work. And I'd also like to thank all the volunteers who help with registration and other innumerable tasks this evening. Barbara, GK, Asha, Deirdre, Gabby, and Anita, thank you. I'd also like to acknowledge the tremendous support our club gets from MIT Sloan Office of External Relations. I know at least one representative came all the way down from Cambridge tonight to be at our event. I won't put her on the spot, but thank you, Leah, for all your support. Tonight's mission, as has been mentioned, is to raise awareness about and work to address the disparity in funding between women-led and male-led startups. This gap remains a significant obstacle for women entrepreneurs. You've all read the statistics. The funding ratio between male-led and female-led startups is absurd. Tonight, we work to change that ratio. One of the goals we set for ourselves is to involve as broad and diverse a range of the MIT community as possible. How'd we do? Our pitch competitors are composed of Sloan MBAs, MIT Sloan Fellows, MIT Postdoctoral Fellows, and MIT graduates and postgraduates with degrees from courses 6, 11, 15, 16, and 18. 9 of our speakers and judges are affiliated with MIT or Sloan. And as you heard, Fox is a pretty good showing as well. But that's not all. Can everyone in the audience with an MIT or Sloan affiliation please raise their hand? All right. Over 60% of the people who registered have a Sloan or MIT affiliation and are helping support our program tonight. Now, when I was at MIT, we might have also asked if anyone from Harvard was in the room and asked them to raise their hand. And then we'd boo. We're not doing that tonight. We're not doing that tonight. As you New York City-based alums know, neither MIT nor Sloan has a facility in New York. Our club is supported by sponsors, and tonight we gratefully acknowledge the 2 major sponsors without whom this event would not have been possible. Deutsche Bank, our host tonight, has generously provided these awesome facilities, the AV support, security, beverage service, which is still a few hours away, and lots more. Deutsche Bank believes in our mission and we are grateful for their support. A shout out to Katie, Alex, Sandra, Amy, Karen Wang, John, and Fabrizio for championing and supporting us. Fox Rothschild, our founding sponsors, contributed substantial funds to both our first event in 2022 and tonight's event, funding the winner's check and more besides. We're grateful to their support. Thanks to the entire Fox Rothschild team, and a shout out to Alex Maimone, who's not here tonight, Fox's point person for all Sloan Club events that they host. I'd also like to thank our MIT partners, all of whom helped us with outreach, Amira, Swim, Martin Trust Center, MIT Alumni Association, MITAS, MIT Startup Exchange, and ILP, and our services sponsors, Grip, Wayog, and Scroobius, who are providing valuable gifts and prizes to our pitch contestants. These are our panelists, moderators, and judges, all accomplished entrepreneurs, investors, and professionals. A bigger intro later, but thanks to all of them who generously gave their time tonight to help make this a great event. Their support is appreciated. And this is a big one. These are all the companies run by amazing MIT women entrepreneurs who submitted over 60 applications to pitch. We know how hard they worked on their submissions, and it was awful to not only be able to give 8 of them a place on the stage tonight. None of us wanted to push the send button on the rejection email. You send it, Karen. No, you send it, Peter. We felt pretty terrible. Some of those who didn't make it are here tonight anyway, and a big round of applause for everyone who applied to pitch. These are the competitors who will soon be pitching. They came from all over to be here tonight. In about 10 minutes, the competition will begin. Good luck to them, and thanks for being here. Our thanks wouldn't be complete without acknowledging everyone working behind the scenes to make tonight's event a success. Thanks to the AV folks, catering, and security. You guys do an amazing job and make running events like this look easy. And my organizing team. They're all great, me included. First is my longtime collaborator and event co-founder, Anoosheh Kalantari, a Sloan Fellow MBA. Among other things, Anoosheh is responsible for the beautiful design, branding, and communications for this event. She put in the work of 3 ordinary people, and I can't thank her enough. She's watching on Zoom, by the way, so everyone please wave to wherever they think a camera is and say, thanks, Anoosheh. Anoosheh is the founder and CEO of Crimson Founders, which is organizing a demo day for MIT and Harvard startups in the United Arab Emirates in November 2024, and is the chief business officer of 6 Star Bulk Bag, a fully vertical packaging manufacturing company in the Middle East. Anoosheh was unable to join us today, so she'll say hi on a video.
Right. My name is Anoosheh, and I'm a graduate of MIT Sloan Fellow MBA program class of 21, and I'm one of the founding organizers of MIT Female Founders Pitch Competition. If I am to be born again, I want to be born a woman every single time. Women are smart, brave, resilient, creative, and they make incredible leaders. As an Iranian woman, I have witnessed how powerful women movement can be. They lead to transformative change, not only in their own lives, but also communities, countries, and history. That is why I'm dedicated to providing a platform like this competition to support the innovative ideas and ventures of female entrepreneurs. It is an honor and privilege to be part of it. Together, let's continue to champion women's empowerment and celebrate their successes. Thank you very much.
And lastly, I'd like to introduce tonight's MC, Karen Tilli, 3rd member of our team. Karen is a Sloan Fellow MBA, and tonight would not have happened without her incredible talent, organizational skills, and determination. I'm grateful she joined our team this year and hope to continue the collaboration in years to come. Karen spent the last 15 years of her career building and scaling mission-driven, high-impact startups in healthcare, environmental sustainability, education, and agriculture. She's been a part of 3 early stage teams that went on to make successful exits, 2 through acquisition and 1 through IPO. Karen built the first claims team at Oscar Health, which IPO'd in 21, led product development and go-to-market at Ecological, which was acquired in 13, and most recently led product and go-to-market strategy for Springtide Child Development, which was acquired in 2023. She's currently supporting Treehouse to lead the launch of their EdTech platform and is incubating an additional stealth AI startup, which we hope to learn more about soon. Before I turn it over to Karen, I'd like to again thank our sponsors, supporters, the volunteers here tonight, the AV folks, catering, security, the audience, everyone on Zoom, our panelists, moderators, and judges, and my teammates, Karen and Anoosheh. And good luck to the pitch competitors. Karen?
Hello, everyone. We're so excited to see you. It has been a long time coming, and honestly, I think walking back into this room, I got a little emotional. There are so many faces in this room that have come out here to support. They were early ticket buyers who are champions of this for a long time, and getting to see them in person has been fantastic. As Peter mentioned, my name is Karen. I've had the privilege of being a part of 3 early stage startups that have gone on to make exits. While I was at MIT, I sat in the founder seat and was a finalist at the 100K pitch competition. For those of you who know that, Cy, who's in the room, was the MC at that event. So thanks again, Cy. I'm actually most familiar with sitting in the seat of the founders and the pitch competition folks that are here. It's nerve-wracking, it's super scary, but it's also really exciting. And what I love about the chance to pitch in this environment is that it's a super safe space. We decorated the room in rainbow colors to make it celebratory. There'll be music playing at certain points. And our hope is that this is a fun environment for you all. Our goals here, as Peter mentioned, are obviously to raise awareness of the abysmally low funding rates that go towards female-founded startups. Part of the way we do that is by making the funding ecosystem more accessible and more transparent. That specifically is one of the things that we've done here tonight. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but on our website, we have published the names and websites of the over 30 VCs that are in the room. That's something that we believe in strongly. As a tip to the folks who are pitching, the networking session that's going to come after this, networking gets a bit scary, right? It can be a little overwhelming. I think it's important to have a strategy. And for that reason, we publicize the VCs that are present. So you can do a bit of research, come up with a strategy, and get yourself ready for that networking session. We believe most of the magic that's going to happen here tonight is the connections that come in that room. We are so honored to be able to showcase the incredible talent of the women that are here, not only because their pitches are excellent, and this will be a very fun night, but we believe that they have the ability to take their companies to extremely meaningful impact in their industries, as well as successful exits. The quote and statistic that didn't get said quite as much in this environment is that women actually take their startups to faster exits than their male peers, right? So the median exit time for male is about 8.1 years. For women, it's about 7.2, right? This is an MIT event, so there will be numbers. There's fortunately no test at the end. It also wouldn't be an MIT event if we didn't try in some manner to quantify what we're doing here. So I thought I'd share my goals for the evening to try to see if we can really make an impact in a quantified way. The first thing is that our goal is that checks are written from the connections that are made in the room this evening. I said this to someone and they're like, that seems a little unrealistic. But for me, the reality is there's over 30 VCs present. There's 8 phenomenal finalists that are pitching. There's over 50 women that aren't going to be able to pitch that applied as part of this pitch competition, right? That's another 50 people in the ecosystem with fantastic pitches. There's also countless other women in this room that are founders that have come this evening to support their peers, but also to be able to speak to their own startups as well. So from my perspective, it's not super unrealistic. Checks don't get written tonight, except for that large one on the side. However, we are hopeful that the kind of warm intros that happen from an environment like this can lead you towards successful check raising pitch events later. Our other goal is that the dollars that go into VC would align with the investment values that you have, right? You're in this room because you care about women in startups and women getting funding. There are opportunities that we'll go through tonight where you can actually invest along your value set. So the more money that goes towards funds that have a value towards women or critically think about the way they're approaching women as potential founders is a fantastic way to spur this environment forward. From a non-financial perspective, you may be sitting here like, yeah, okay, Karen, I don't write checks. What can I do? But it truly takes a village to found a startup, right? And I think a lot of the people in this room become the village for the founders that are here and for the founders that aren't here, right? You can easily become one of the first key hires that will drive the mission of these startups. I've been one of those hires, right? Early stage hires do have a huge impact, and getting the right people in the right seats is huge. Always feel free to raise your hand and talk to a startup. They may not be hiring now, but they will keep you in mind, right? The next piece is vendors, right? There's a lot of people in the room that actually sell services to startups. Taking workload off of a startup in a cost-effective way can free up the founder to be able to do much more impactful work. And we love a lot of the services sponsors who are vendors into those groups as well. You can also support the founders by aiding them doing primary market research. Anybody heard of it? Maybe the founders in this room have to take calls to try to understand how their product is landing with their audience, right? If you want to be a friendly face to a startup and you represent their target customer, take a call with them, right? It's about 30 to 45 minutes. It's huge in impact to the startup itself. Hopefully you guys are nodding along. I see some of the founders here like, yes, please take some calls. The last thing I'll mention is that all of these startups, or many of the ones that I have seen, are launching pilots and looking for pilot customers, right? A dedicated lead user that gives you a ton of feedback up front is priceless. So from my perspective, there's some really tangible ways that you can become the village to the female founding community. With that said, that was my spiel, right? We've gotten through a lot of the logistics. Now what I'm going to do is walk you through hopefully it comes up, the agenda for the evening. Okay, so we're pretty much through the introductions and welcome. We're going to start next with the pitch competition, which we are super excited about. We'll then take a quick break. It'll be about 10 minutes, enough time for you to enjoy the snacks and refreshments that are in the back here if you haven't already seen them. It will be a quick break, and then we'll come back to the panelists. That will be the first step is the venture capital panel, and then it will be the experienced founder panel. After that, we will present the winners and then move to the reception. As your MC, I also consider myself your hype girl and your wing woman. And I'm here to make it less scary to approach the investors in the room as well as the investors not in the room, right? So I'd love to draw your attention to the fact that, I think I mentioned this already, we have published all the VCs that are present. We've also published all of the applicants. We know that warm intros actually do drive funding and drive checks, right? This can be a great place to get those warm intros. If you need a hype girl or a wing woman, just let me know, or any of the organizing committee, we're happy to do that. We believe in you, we believe in the investors that are present, and we're so excited to see what comes out of this. We also have published this stuff because we believe that transparency in this information breaks down walls and that we're not here to gatekeep opportunities. We want all of our applicants, as well as every founder in this room, to have access to the funding they need to drive their startups. Okay, who's excited for the pitch competition? Amazing. So we're actually going to call up the judges. These are actually our finalists. I think you guys have seen this slide before. We're going to call up our judges. We're going to sit in the front here. You guys can start to get seated, and then I'll give some kind of context information as we go. So the judges will be scoring the finalists who will be pitching on this stage. They're going to be scoring based on both the content of their pitch as well as the quality of delivery. What the judges are looking for as they do this is a really laser-like focus on what problem are they trying to solve? What's the value proposition of the product that they have built? What's the market size that they can actually address? Is this a big enough problem that is worth solving? What's their business model in terms of how they turn this into revenue? Among many other things that they'll be looking for. There will be 3 winners tonight. The first place winner gets that big check over there, $10,000. We actually wire the 10K. You can't cash that thing. In case that answers any questions for people in the room. I had that question. All 3 of the winners will have access to a bundle of services provided by our services sponsors, totaling over $50,000 in value. There's some really great stuff in there that the previous winners have told us was very impactful into their businesses. And so we're super grateful for the opportunity to provide that. If you guys are new, come on, welcome. There's plenty of seats in the front. Okay, there's also an Audience Choice Award. That means you guys get to get involved. So As we have these pitches starting, it's actually important for you guys to take notes or really stop and think about what's happening in these pitches. There is a general note that we'll make at this point that in these pitches and just in your life in general, unconscious bias can come into the way that you think about something. That tends to follow a thinking fast, thinking slow model, if you guys have read any of the books and literature around this stuff. So we encourage you to think slow in these moments, slow down, take some notes, really absorb what these folks are saying, and then we'll go on to make your Audience Choice Award. Make sense? People ready for that? Awesome. I will also generally note that one of our panelists on the entrepreneur panel won the Audience Choice Award 2 years ago. So super impressive. It is actually meaningful, and we're super grateful that she's back here today. Awesome. So I'm going to give intros for our judges, who are now wonderfully seated at this, what DB likes to call Shark Tank table. So first up, we have Karen from the Deutsche Bank team. Karen is an investor in Deutsche Bank's venture capital team. She invests in Series A and B software companies. She was previously the head of Deutsche Bank's Entrepreneur in Residence program and is passionate about supporting early stage startups. As her hype person, I would say it's super important to understand the value that strategic investors can play on your board, and having that conversation with Karen can be super helpful. When a strategic investor sits on your cap table, they also become a pilot customer, give you a ton of feedback, and are generally helpful in opening up connections for you. Okay, next up we have Christina. Hello, Christina. Christina is an MIT alum, as well as a thought leader in cybersecurity and an experienced startup founder. She also supports numerous startups as a board director and advisor, and currently serves in a leadership role at RSA NetWitness. I would suggest you follow her on LinkedIn. I think there's a lot of really good posts. People are nodding in the room if they already do. Christina, we're so grateful to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. Next up is Stephanie. Stephanie is an MIT alum, 2020 also. She's the director of MIT's Delta V Accelerator in New York City. Delta V, if you're not aware, is MIT's flagship entrepreneurship program, where founders walk through a full summer worth of entrepreneurship, testing their ideas, getting ready to go to market and start to raise funding. She recently held a senior product role at Clover Health, is a Forbes contributor, and is passionate about fintech, health tech, and supporting underestimated founders. Thank you, Stephanie. Super excited to have you. And then last, but certainly not least, is Tamar. She's a partner at Fox Rothschild, as you guys saw earlier in terms of the introduction. She advises emerging technology companies on formation, financing, corporate governance, and public offerings, as well as technology transactions, privacy, and data security. I will generally say that in your village, there needs to be a pretty good lawyer. And as you can see from the folks that made the introduction earlier, it is actually helpful to have people who understand the technology that you're trying to sell on your legal team. And the fact that so many of them have MIT degrees, I think they'll probably understand what you guys are building.